I have been so looking forward to interviewing my next guest, only because when I first started in Twitch, Brada when really helped me out. Seriously, he taught me so much, and it is my pleasure to introduce you to OG Sumo Vibe. How are you, my Bay Area brother?
How's it? How's it?
OG Sumo Vibe. Now, I hope you don't mind my introduction there, where I mentioned how much you helped me when I first started in Twitch. I don't know if you remember me asking you, hey, OG, what's a mod?
No, no. You know what? It's funny because like all of those early days, all of the early days of Twitch with not only myself, and you got to remember, I started on Twitch just a little before you did, I think.
You play such an eclectic blend of music at different times on your show. Hawaiian, hip hop, classic rock. One of my favorites was, of course, the Love Lounge late at night and stuff. Did that blend of genres come from you as a live DJ performing?
As far as the music, so I'm the youngest of nine kids, and out of the nine, I'm the only one that was uh, A, born in California, not Hawaii, and B, can't play an instrument to save my life. So the only instrument that I learned to play is the turntable.
Do you still get much chance to perform live?
It's funny because even before the pandemic hit, so I had an accident in 2012 where I actually broke my back,
What?
and so that kind of sidelined me. I was pretty much out of it for 18 months, and then I tried to go back and do it, but it's just really hard to, that's a physical job, DJing or just being just performing music at events in general, whether it's club events, whether you're doing a wedding, corporate event, what have you.
Are you saying that you still are unable to walk?
People don't realize this, and the people that are regulars on my show, most of the
Yeah.
sumo ohana, they know, but just the kind of the casual um, type of listener to my show, they don't realize this, but I rely on this thing, this cane, and I'm in a wheelchair. When I go out and about, I'm not able to walk. People don't realize you have to literally load up tens of thousands of dollars worth of equipment, take it from point A to point B, unload it, set it up, then load it back in your truck, bring them back, and then unload again. So,
Well, that's the joke they make about DJs, right? What's the definition of a DJ performing live? A guy who takes $5,000 worth of equipment, puts it in a $300 car, drives 500 miles to make $100.
you know what? That's true. I've been there and done that.
So, you're not the first entertainer to say that Twitch was actually sort of a godsend, especially during these pandemic times.
Man, it was definitely a blessing. I know DJs on Twitch now that are making stacks and stacks of money, way more than they made when they were actually going out on the road and doing shows.
Well,
You know,
let me
it
ask you about the music on that note. I remember you mentioning one time about how important the Love Lounge was to you.
yeah.
Do you mind telling that story?
So my wife passed away at the end of 2018, and this was my seventh grade sweetheart. Man, we were never apart for longer than 4 days, and it was a sudden thing where she was here one day and then she was gone. So going through that, it really left me in a brokenness that I just had no clue how to even start to get out of. And it took really my daughter Kamalani to tell me, hey, you know what, Dad? I think the reason why you're feeling the way you're feeling is because music is your medicine, and that's a big chunk of mana that you're just throwing away. So I'm real hard head, but I listened to it and I started to go back to those old school love songs that me and my wife used to enjoy, and that's where the love lounge started. It's just me in my living
Yeah.
room crying like one big baby, going, "Oh my god, I miss my wife." But hearing those old '70s and '80s love jams, and then just go live and then just play the music.
Play the music.
And then what I saw was a lot of people started to come in and
Yeah.
enjoy that show. So that's how the Love Lounge started, really.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I remember you telling that story. It was so great to hear it again. And one of the things that strikes me about that story and other things that you have done live is your willingness to be honestly vulnerable.
I'm vulnerable because the people that are in my stream are Sumo Ohana and people that I care about.
Have you thought of other areas to live stream other than music?
You know what? I've always wanted to start a podcast, and kind of seeing what Matt Statter does with her stream. That's really what I think I'd love to do. Share information. That's really what I'd like to pursue is that type of thing.
What we're doing right now.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. These types of interviews, they're around forever on the internet and such. What would you say to your future self that watches this interview?
Ooh, that's a good one. My future self, man. Okay, so wow, that is a that's an awesome question. I think talking to my future self, if there is a future self, I would say, you know what? Congratulations, because bro, you went through some stuff, and you was just going, you were just going with the flow and fighting and persevering and even though you thought you weren't going to make it at times, you did it. So um, I think that's what I would say to my future self is, you know what? Congratulations.
Wow. I hope you do that chat show just based on what you just said. I'm a subscriber.
Right on, bro. I appreciate it. And you know what? That's the thing about the Hamajang gang that I feel such a closeness and bond to is that we come from so many different types of avenues and different lifestyles, and there's no way that some of us would see one another on the street and kind of strike up a conversation and build a friendship, a ohana
Yeah.
with, and because of this platform, we were able to connect, and now we have that connection that we maybe wouldn't have had just face to face on the street. So that's another thing that's came from streaming is that it's allowed people with
Yeah.
such diverse backgrounds to actually come together and form a community. So that's awesome.
Well, I'm so happy that you are a part of that community, OG Sumo Vibe, and thank you so much for this wonderful interview.
Right
Mahalo,
on, my
bro.
brother. Thank you so much.
Aloha.